Good evening, I'm Matt Campbell.
And I'm Miela Fatau. Here's what's coming up next on Panther Vision.
Milwaukee hosts the 44th President of the United States.
Milwaukee came out on top.
We'll tell you why.
You came on a good night, a real good night.
Economical shifts, social issues in Michigan's oldest neighborhood, all on stage.
Two-time Olympian and UWM alum gets back on the ice.
I realized, wait a minute, I might have a shot to actually compete at the U.S. National Championships.
From the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, this is UWM Panther Vision. A weekly newscast reported, written, and produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. And now, the news.
The city of Milwaukee is being nationally recognized.
And some UWM students were there to see it.
And as I found out, a special guest was in attendance to give his congratulations.
Okay.
Beating out his hometown of Chicago,
I'm pretty proud of my own hometown.
President Barack Obama arrived to the United Community Center Thursday afternoon to congratulate the city of Milwaukee for winning the White House Healthy Communities Challenge.
Chicago outperformed every other competitor except one. Milwaukee came out on top. You get bragging rights this year.
UWM student Tomas Garrett was in attendance.
A lot of people I know do have health care now because of the Affordable Care Act.
According to the White House, thanks to the law, 20 million more Americans understand the importance and security of health care.
It's about the basic idea that in America, health care is not a privilege reserved for the few, but should be a right for all people.
County Executive Chris Abley and Mayor Tom Barrett came together to make the act work for Milwaukee.
People who are working, students, people who are out of jobs, I want to have them have access to health care.
Elected officials, clinics, faith leaders, nonprofits, businesses, and many more stepped in, reminding people to sign up for health care.
So this city should be proud. You did the best job of looking out for each other and taking care of each other. And I'm here to say congratulations.
In Milwaukee, I'm Miela Fatau for Panther Vision.
God bless you, Milwaukee. God bless these United States of America.
There are advantages and disadvantages to the Affordable Care Act for students.
State Senator Lena Taylor spoke about the positives after the president's speech.
Students can stay on their parents' insurance, and then frankly, if you're a student and you have to get access to your own insurance, that there's a way for you to do that and for it to be affordable. We're not invincible. And in college, it's a time where I think you begin to realize, oh, I need to think about those things. Mm-hmm. And normally you're kind of pushed before you're out of college into a position where you have to be able to pay for insurance and you can't. Mm-hmm. And so this really is a blessing for college students. Okay.
The Affordable Care Act is having a different effect on UWM student workers.
And as I found out, it's not necessarily a welcome change.
This is my job, so I don't know if you want to do it.
Paying for college can be stinky. For students like Michaela Martin, the stink of bills are growing even stronger. Martin is a custodial support staff supervisor at the resident halls. During her time at UWM, Martin has held several campus jobs simultaneously.
All right, 10-4, thank you.
Recently, she received a notice that this is no longer allowed.
I found out about 2 weeks before the last semester ended.
Associate Vice Chancellor Tim Danielson sent the memo.
We sent the memo via email for the first time in December.
The memo states, due to changing requirements for employees under the Affordable Care Act, students may not work more than 25 hours per week, no matter how many campus jobs they hold. This leaves Martin to pick one of her jobs to stay at.
I was a supervisor at the Cambridge Cafe as well, so I had to pick between my two jobs within housing.
This only became an issue for student workers due to a Wisconsin state statute already in place.
Because again, the state of Wisconsin statutorily does not permit us as an employer to offer student employees health insurance.
However, Martin is finding ways to adjust.
To be honest, I'm just kind of not spending as much money as I used to. I can't go out as much. I can't buy, go on a random shopping spree or something, but I had to focus on bills and rent more than anything. I've had to take out money from my loans more than before.
In Milwaukee, I'm Matt Campbell for Panther Vision.
Danielson adds the Affordable Care Act does not affect non-student workers on campus. In fact, they were eligible for health care before the Affordable Care Act was implemented.
The UW Board of Regents is under fire after approving new tenure and faculty layoff policies. The board approved the policies at its meeting last week. Several professors attended in full academic dress to register the objections to the new policy. UW officials will now have the authority to discontinue academic programs and lay off tenured faculty for educational or financial reasons. Professors could also face discipline, including firing, if they are found to be falling short of expectations under a new policy for post-tenure review.
An outspoken Madison professor is making good on her threat to leave the university because of the tenure issue. Sarah Goldrick-Robb has announced that she's leaving to take a job at Temple University in Philadelphia. Golden Rick-Robb has actively voiced her frustrations with the school over the lack of security the new tenure policy gives professors. She even took her rants to Twitter bashing the university and even tweeted at incoming freshmen to rethink their decision to attend Madison.
Despite the massive budget cuts, UW-Madison is still trying to retain top faculty. Madison spent nearly $9 million last fall to keep faculty members from leaving for other universities. 85% of faculty and staff who received outside offers decided to stay. Madison gave out about $725,000 in raises and about $8 million in research support.
Proposed legislation will give students immunity for underage drinking if they report a sexual assault. The bill is called Sexual Assault Amnesty Proposal. It says authorities will disregard an underage drinking violation to anyone who has been assaulted or is assisting a friend who has been assaulted. The bill has not been drafted or has not been debated in the state legislature.
Milwaukee saw more homicides in 2015 than it had in decades. Police came to talk about violence and prevention during a lecture series at UWM's School of Continuing Education. As Panther Vision's Rebecca Pappenthien reports, officers were able to put members of the community at ease.
A few dozen adults gave a warm welcome.
It feels very odd for a public servant to have applause.
To Captain Aaron Rapp of Milwaukee's Investigation Division. He was at UWM's School of Continuing Education to talk about one thing specifically: homicides in the city.
152 investigated last year, 145 are reportable and counted towards our data. That's a lot of violence in our city. Very few of our homicides are random acts of violence. That is intended to make people in this audience feel better.
Ted Tausman is on the board of OSHER, a lifelong learning program for older adults at UWM. This talk by the police was the first in their Distinguished Speakers series of the year.
Because when you read the paper, you read that crime is up in certain areas, and we're all a little afraid, especially us older people. And I thought after listening that I'm not quite as afraid, because usually, as he said, they're not random crimes. They're usually crimes and people know each other. So I think it set us a bit at ease. So probably that was a good thing.
While the talk was for elderly, Sergeant Tim Gerke had advice for students also.
If you're approached and someone displays a gun or tells you they have a gun and they're demanding your cell phone or your backpack or your wallet or your purse, a stun gun or a taser or pepper spray isn't going to do you much good. Best course of action is just to stay calm and give up those items because it's not worth getting hurt or getting killed for.
In Milwaukee, for Panther Vision, I'm Rebecca Pappenthien.
Homicides are down this year compared to last, but officers say they will continue to work with the Homicide Prevention Task Force to reduce numbers even lower.
You may not be able to light up on campus in the future. The UWM Student Association has passed legislation making UWM a smoke-free campus. Now, if it takes effect, the current rule of being able to smoke 30 feet away from building doors will be eliminated. It will be replaced with designating smoking zones. The legislation now goes to UWM officials for approval.
More than 100 people are brand new U.S. citizens. They come from 53 different countries and took the oath of allegiance at MATC's Cooley Auditorium. Dan Henson has more with the MATC report.
I'm here at the Cooley Auditorium, where over 120 individuals will receive their United States citizenship. After the applicants registered and friends and family entered the auditorium, the ceremony began with the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Muhammad Dakwar had high hopes for the new citizens.
So my message to you, and dreaming big here, is I truly think that you can change the world.
Judge William E. Duffin gave no guarantees, but gave high hopes to the group about every immigrant's goal, the American dream.
Understand the Constitution provides you with rights and privileges, but it doesn't give you any guarantees. The American dream is the belief that through hard work and determination, any U.S. immigrant can achieve a better life.
After the oath was taken and the official certificates were handed out, we were able to talk to some of the new United States citizens.
I am very proud. I am happy to, at this time, to be citizen. After 24 years, I arrived to this country in April 5th, 1992.
I'm just so excited. Very exciting, finally become a citizen and be able to travel, see my family.
These new United States citizens are in for one exciting adventure. For the MATC Report, I'm Dan Hansen.
The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Office in Milwaukee works with MATC to organize a yearly naturalization ceremony.
You don't need to be a doctor to save a life. Panther Vision's Alvaro Nino de Guzman tells how you can be a hero.
It's another day of work for Barbara Welcome. As a human resources coordinator, she has a mission at UWM.
I've been doing this for about 4 years now.
Her current work has been influenced on past experiences.
I had a nephew that was 3 years old that passed away due to a blood disorder.
The Blood Center of Wisconsin hosted a blood drive here at UWM. Even though a needle poking your arm sounds scary, people still want to help.
The best part is just, knowing that you helped make some difference in somebody's life and makes you feel good about yourself for the day.
In today's drive, the Blood Center has 20 people schedule appointments. They're expecting to have 30 people donating, including walk-ins. 1 pint of blood can save 3 lives.
They save a lot of Americans' lives.
The process can take from half an hour to 1 hour. There are 2 options for donating. You can either donate 1 pint of blood or 2 pints of red cells.
Just take my lunch break and come give blood, so it's a super convenient, easy way to make a difference.
For Barbara, donating blood is not only a nice gesture, but it does have a deeper meaning.
The importance of giving the gift of life.
In Milwaukee, I'm Alvaro Niño de Guzman for Panther Vision.
Coming up next on Panther Vision, are you confused by your taxes? We'll tell you how to get free advice.
The recent unsettled weather is sure an unusual thing, but do you know the reason behind it? We will tell you more when Panther Vision returns.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Welcome back. There are only a few things guaranteed in life. One of them is paying taxes.
At best, it's like eating your vegetables.
But as Panther Vision's Chris Schimmel reports, help is right around the corner.
You're a busy college student with little or no time to determine your tax situation. You need to get them done ASAP and on the cheap end. The American Association of Retired Persons partnered up with UW-Milwaukee accounting students to assist those who are new to the process and those who just need a little help at the Cambridge Commons.
I typically do my taxes on my own.
But this year I had 3 jobs, so it was a little bit more complicated, so they've been extremely helpful.
Jeffrey Owens is the treasurer-elect of UWM's Beta Alpha Psi, an accounting finance honor society.
Tax law isn't fun. Like it's not sexy. No one wants to look at a tax return and be like, oh, I know what's going on here.
He is not surprised, but is worried by how little young adults know about taxes.
If you don't want to do it, it's easier to just have other people do it or pay other people to do it. So
he believes schools should promote more classes based on personal finance and taxes.
Yeah, I think the more educated that students are, the better it is for our future.
The AARP district coordinator of Milwaukee County, Kathleen Swedlund, agrees.
Business math, business English, all of that. I think everything.
Business is something she believes all students should focus on.
Knowledge of business, how it works, the background, just a little bit, because you're going to be in that industry, I hope, from the time you turn 22 until you retire, which probably be 70 for you kids.
For Panther Vision, I'm Chris Schimmel.
The next free tax clinic is on March 14th from 9 a.m. to noon.
School districts are now able to hire professionals with relevant experience as vocational education teachers. Governor Scott Walker signed into law a bill that creates a 3-year teaching license, which will be issued by the Department of Public Instruction. Vocational teachers in areas of business marketing, agriculture, and more are included. When the license expires, applicants might be issued a professional teaching license.
MATC is making a promise to students who are having trouble affording colleges. And as Alina Van reports, that promise is helping students realize their dreams.
For 100 years, MATC has provided a valuable education for thousands of people. And now, they're about to provide a free one.
MATC Promise started in September of 2015, and it's for high school seniors that we introduced it to. It helps them realize their dream of going to college, and it's at no cost. Part of the promise is that after they apply for their financial aid and any state aid, the MATC Promise comes in and covers the rest of their tuition and fees.
The MATC staff has been working tireless hours going to high schools, talking to high school seniors about this wonderful opportunity. The next question is, what do they have to do to get it?
They have to have a 2.0 GPA. They have to be a high school on-time graduate. They have to have a composite score of 16 on their ACT, which has to be done by May 1st. Their financial aid has to be done by March 15th, which is next Tuesday. They have to have a 90% attendance in their school. And that's it.
For 100 more years, MATC will keep providing these wonderful opportunities. And I'm Zelina Van with MATC Report.
The MATC Promise Program is open to Milwaukee area high school students. The school pays for all tuition and fees after students' financial and has been received. To remain in the program, students need to maintain full-time status and at least a 2.0 GPA.
After nearly 14 years of leadership, the director of UWM's Roberto Hernandez Center is stepping down. The center has been run by Dr. Enrique Figueroa since 2002. Over the course of his time as director, Figueroa has grown the RHC Latino Scholarship Fund by nearly $100,000. Figueroa has been recognized by the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, his undergraduate alma mater, and the Green Bay Packers. He will end his position as director in August and will continue to serve as faculty in the Department of Urban Planning.
With a $30 to $35 million budget deficit, students, faculty, and staff are worrying about the future. The Chancellor's Campus Organization Effectiveness Team has drafted a report offering possible solutions to the budget crisis. Panther Vision's Jordan Denning has more.
UW-Milwaukee depend on academic advisors for class advice, career planning, and even life counseling.
I really am blessed to have an advisor who can really get me on a personal level.
Freshman Nia Wilson gets her academic advising from Gary Cooper Sperber, the only active advisor in the African American Student Academic Service Office on campus.
Because there's certain things that Black students go go through that typically a white counselor or advisor wouldn't understand or relate.
According to Provost Johannes Britz, minority academic advising offices will likely see some shifting of positions due to budget cuts.
We are going to fill the position. We just want to make sure that that position is more of strategic in the sense of leadership, that we do it the right way.
The African American Student Academic Services Office has already felt the repercussions of a shifting staff after an academic advisor retired in December and has not been replaced.
When I got hired, we were already operating a deficient model. And so since June 30th of 2015, one of our advisors had retired and left the university. And then also on July 1st, or around the beginning of July of 2015, another advisor also announced her retirement, that she's going to be retiring in December of 2015.
No decisions regarding the campus budget report have been made. A meeting has been rescheduled for Monday, March 21st. In Milwaukee, for Panther Vision, I'm Jordan Nennig.
And Luis De Leon joins us now to look at our weather. Well, it looks like spring weather came just in time for spring break.
Yes, it really did. We're not going to see temperatures as warm as last week. We saw some beautiful temperatures back then, 60s and even some days touching 70. But this week we're seeing a little bit more cooler air, but still a very comfortable week ahead of us. So.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. As for your weather headlines, as I said before, we are going to be seeing those temperatures remaining comfortable, sticking around the 50s, but not much warmer than that since we won't be seeing too much sun at all this week. Clouds are going to be rolling in and out throughout the day during the daytime and clearing up, but most evenings this week we're going to be seeing a cool down in temperatures, and this weekend coming, I don't expect to see any more late season snow, but temperatures should be dropping towards Friday and Saturday. So, taking a look outside right now, currently here in Milwaukee, overcast skies, sun peeking through just in a few places right now with the temperature currently at 47 degrees, dew point at 36, not seeing that temperature rising a little bit more than 50 degrees today. So as for the rest of today, cloudy skies with the high of 50 degrees with a low of 41, and the precipitation chance sticking out at 0% right now, just in case for any sort of stray shower. So as for your lows across the state, we are seeing temperatures ranging throughout the 40s, starting on North and Rhinelander with a low of 41, Green Bay 40, Oshkosh 42, here in Milwaukee with a low of 41 as well. Out in the state capital, Madison 47, La Crosse 52, and out by the state border, a low of 48 in Eau Claire. As for the highs, not seeing too big of a gap between the lows and highs today. Temperatures reaching throughout the 50s, starting on North and Rhinelander with a high of 54, Green Bay area 49, Oshkosh 49, here in Milwaukee 50, out in the Madison area 52, La Crosse 58, and in Eau Claire 55. So as for tonight, as I said before, cloudy skies, going to be a low of 41. Wind's going to be calm though, so it should be a pretty calm night with a low of 41 and the winds coming out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As for tomorrow, that's when we're going to start to see the precipitation occurring a little bit, maybe even seeing a rumble of thunder. So thunder showers throughout your day tomorrow with temperatures rising just a little bit with a high of 59 and the winds increasing a little bit coming out of the southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. So as for Wednesday, this is when we're going to start to see just a little peak of sunshine throughout that day. Mostly cloudy skies expecting, but for now, we're going to list it as partly cloudy skies with a high of 55, low 44, and the winds coming out of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. So winds are going to stay consistent for tomorrow into Wednesday. As for your extended forecast, we are going to see that cool down trend beginning on Thursday with cloudy skies and a high of 49. Friday, temperature drops a little bit with a high of 45. May see some sunshine peaks throughout that day, but not much. Moving into your weekend, Saturday, a high of 44 with mostly cloudy skies and expecting a cold and rainy day on Sunday with a high of 40. So a lot more active week of weather than last week, so should be still pretty comfortable for the rest of spring break.
Hey, as long as there's no snow, I'm good with that.
Right, exactly, no more snow.
All right, thank you, Luis. Yep. Speaking of weather, this past winter has brought extreme changes in temperature, giving us bouts of varied weather conditions. UWM's maintenance staff holds the task of keeping campus clear and beautiful. Panther Vision's Zoe Benjamin visited the maintenance building for an inside look.
Heidi Kazuda is a gardener for UWM's maintenance staff, and when the snow takes over, Heidi brings on the salt. The staff is on call 24/7, no matter what. Steve Wilkie, the buildings and grounds supervisor, can attest to that.
We're stuck with ice again, icing conditions, so a lot more of that lately.
The awkward temperatures have been quite bothersome, especially when it can be cold and snowing one day and warm the next. Excess salt is needed for times when snow is expected, but doesn't show up for the party. The unusually warm winter can be attributed to the El Niño oscillation, a phenomenon that occurs mostly in the wintertime. When it comes to weather patterns, Clark Evans is the expert. He's an assistant professor and program coordinator for the Atmospheric Science Department.
Usually it's relatively cold near the coast of South America and relatively warm near the coast of Asia and Australia. But during El Niño events, that pattern reverses. Events are strongest during the winter time, so December through February period. They tend to weaken as you move on into the following spring and summer months.
Wilkie is dealing with this firsthand.
On Christmas this year, it was a rain event instead of a snow event. Typically that doesn't occur.
The best way for the maintenance staff to dress for those weird temperatures.
Lots and lots of layers.
Hopefully this winter will be coming to a close without any more surprises. In Milwaukee, I'm Zoe Benjamin for Panther Vision.
And coming up next on Panther Vision, a UWM alum and former Olympian is making a comeback.
And later, a theater production takes on social issues affecting urban communities. All that and more when Panther Vision returns.
Wisconsin basketball teams are scrambling to try to get into the NCAA tournament.
And it's all in the family for a UWM Olympic speed skater. John Giddings joins us with sports. John?
Thanks, guys. The women's basketball team just concluded play in the Horizon League tournament in Green Bay. The Panthers were the number 2 seed in the bracket and lost to UW Green Bay in the championship game 64-32 after knocking off third-seeded Wright State 68-60 in the semifinal round. UWM awaits its postseason fate following the loss. Sophomore Jenny Linder was named to the All-Horizon League tournament team. Coaches and players get ejected from basketball games from time to time, but have you ever heard of an announcer being tossed? UW Green Bay's Matt Menzel ran into some trouble with referees in the Phoenix Horizon League tournament semifinal victory over Valparaiso.
Long rebound, and Kenny Lowe was getting held by Vasil Fernandez. Or was he? No, they called against Kenny Lowe. So Kenny Lowe will pick up the.
Give me a game manager.
We'll pick up the.
Who's the game manager?
We'll pick up the loose ball foul.
This guy right here.
I'm getting yelled at right now for.
Right there.
What? I didn't even do anything.
He fans me up again. I want him removed.
I'm not looking at you.
Here we go.
All right. So Kenny Lowe gets a loose ball foul. I didn't even look at the guy. Holy smokes.
Welcome back inside the Joe Louis Arena. My name is Neil Rule, the play-by-play voice of the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Filling in.
We're back at it. I want to thank Neil Rule from Oakland for filling in for that last minute or so. There's all kinds of miscommunication here at the scores table. Alec Peters is able to hit the second free throw.
The Panthers men's basketball season is over. UWM lost in the Horizon League quarterfinals to UW Green Bay 70-61. The team finished the season 20-13, 10-8 in Horizon League play. Green Bay parlayed its win against UWM into a league tournament championship and the league's automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. In addition, Wisconsin made the big dance as an at-large qualifier. The Badgers, seeded 7th in the East region, will face 10th-seeded Pittsburgh in the second round on Friday at 5:50 p.m. in St. Louis. The Phoenix, seeded number 14, will play 3rd-seeded Texas A&M in the West Regional second-round matchup on Friday at 6:20 p.m. in Oklahoma City. UWM was represented at the NCAA Indoor Track Championships at Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama. Senior Brett Pozelinski has broken 3 school records in the high jump and won the Horizon League title in that competition as well.
Coming into my senior year, I always had that goal to jump 7 feet, and it's kind of been there for a couple of years, and I was kind of set at that, and hopefully getting to regionals outdoor. Never really imagined anything indoor. My expectations are just kind of taking that whole experience, obviously do well. It's just going to be a crazy experience. I just hope to have a lot of fun there and hopefully do well.
Pozelinski finished 5th at the championships and garnered first-team All-American honors. 2 UWM divers were invited to the NCAA Zone D diving championships at Texas A&M. Senior Rachel Margus scored 249.95 in the 1-meter dive and 254.35 in the 3, good for 30th and 33rd out of 52 respectively. Margus finished her career with the UWM 1-meter record and 11 career Horizon League Athlete of the Week awards. Freshman Carly Thomas took 49th on both the 1 and 3-meter. A fellow UWM Panther Vision alum is gliding his way back to the top. This time, he's not only trying to balance on his skates, but with a family and full-time career. Panther Vision's Dylan Depry reports.
While most of Milwaukee is enjoying the spring weather, speed skaters are enjoying a cooler scene. UWM alum Dave Tamburino laces up after spending more than 15 years off the ice. Did I mention Tamburino was a 2-time Olympian and placed 5th at the 95 World Championships?
And I had a really good run, and all before the time I was 25.
In 2014, he brushed the dust off his skates and began training again. 39.63 seconds in the 500-meter long track was all it took for Tamburino to skate his way to the top of his age bracket. He says he was surprised about the results.
It was this year just try skating again, see how fast I could go. And then as the season progressed, I realized, wait a minute, I might have a shot to actually compete at the U.S. National Championships.
Speed skating runs in the Tamburino family. His wife Amy was also on the national team. It didn't take the 3 Tamburino kids long for their curiosity to kick in.
You know, they'd see photos of mom skating and dad skating together, and they're curious. And so about a year and a half ago, they started expressing some interest.
9-year-old Kate Tamburino has strapped on her own skates in stride with her father. She's began to take lessons at the Pettit Ice Center, looking up to an Olympian who happens to be her dad. Kate says she loves skating with her family. When it comes to watching her father skate,
he's really good.
Though it's not the most popular winter sport, speed skating has won the most Olympic medals for the U.S.
And we don't have the numbers that skiing has. Certainly don't have the numbers that hockey has. But we do have, some passionate people in the sport, and I think that makes a big difference.
In Milwaukee, I'm Dylan Depry for Panther Vision.
Be honest, John. We need your insight. Is the women's basketball team going to make a postseason tournament game?
Well, Coach Kyle Recklich did say that they do have an automatic qualification for the NIT, so we'll officially find that out tonight, but they should be playing in the NIT.
Wonderful. Cool. Every community deals with gentrification, race, and sexual orientation.
Corktown is a production reflecting on topics in Detroit, Michigan.
As Panther Vision's Elizabeth LaPointe reports, it links various communities back to the Motor City.
And the sound at this time is just right. You came on a good night, a real good night.
It was a good night indeed, as the Corktown production provided an insightful take on Detroit's stereotypes and gentrification issues. UWM stage manager Aaron Polis links it back to Milwaukee.
It can bring people together, yet tear people apart, and I think it's really important that Milwaukee sees that, because we're going through gentrification all over, especially in Walker's Point and Bayview. We're starting to get new stores and new things are popping up, and I think it shows how we should deal with that.
Artist reflection of the people and the current culture. Corktown applied to a diverse audience since gentrification affects various communities. Lead actor and UWM student Andrew Ricks expresses how Corktown has made him more aware of gentrification in Milwaukee.
The north side of Milwaukee is very rustic and urban, and it has that flavor to it with all its murals and graffiti. But even when I'm going home and I'm on the bus, I'll see coffee shops and little condos being built everywhere. I'm and because of this production, I'm just now noticing that.
In Milwaukee, I'm Elizabeth LaPointe for Panther Vision.
For now, we continue.
Thank you for tuning in for tonight's edition of Panther Vision.
Have a great week and spring break.